Yo, 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 yo. It's your boy, the insurance junkie, your fiduciary fella, the all-star advisor Alonzo Hall. And I've returned today to whap and tap on your head with another ADH wealth solution. Today, we're going to be going over what I call fake financial gurus who are maybe unintentionally misleading the public. So one of those people is a guy who I actually follow myself, and I have a little bit of a love-hate relationship because even though he means well, unfortunately it actually causes more harm than good. Even if you take his advice and you make $10,000 off of it, unfortunately it's probably not going to be something that you can be substantial for the long period of time. But before I go in, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you hit that like, drop a comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you're made aware every time I release new content. And as always, share, share, share. Lastly, to contribute to channel growth or to schedule an appointment with a licensed financial professional, the links are in the description of this video. So, as we proceed to give you what you need, there's a reason I keep talking about the license, because if you'll see here, my buddy, Wall Street Trapper, says the fast, simple, and easy steps to become a stock investor in just 10 days. Well, unfortunately, this is impossible unless you are an accredited investor. You're not a stock investor. And this is why you'll hear actual professionals like JT the Pocket Watcher and myself who are explaining to you why you need to deal with people who are licensed. Now, I did a video speaking to the fact that he charged $3,500 and is not licensed, and people came, well, the license doesn't mean anything, da-da-da-da-da. Well, what the license means is that if his recommendations harm you, there's recourse. See, right now, if he says, go invest in Mrs. Peaches talking about C. Murder's trial, and then you do it and you lose your life savings, you have no recourse. Now, if I say with a license, go invest in Miss Peaches C. Murder, and you invest your life savings and you lose it all, you have recourse. You can actually legally sue me. And I may have to compensate you for that, so you can get some or all of your money back. Or at least you'll make me face jail time. Right? Unfortunately, with Wall Street Trapper, there's nothing that you can do if his information harms you. Now, has it helped people? I'm sure it has. But guess what else helped people? Dr. Dre. But you wouldn't go take doctor advice from Dr. Dre, right? You might listen to some music or musical advice from Dr. Dre, but Dr. Dre is not a medical doctor, right? Now, let's say Dr. Dre does not want it. He's not claiming to be an MD or a medical doctor with a PhD, but he's claiming to be a therapist, right? A doctor who deals with psychology. Well, he might even help you with some of his, thoughts. Listen, you gotta meditate, and then charge you a bunch of money. But because he's not an actual doctor and doesn't have the credentials, you may get harmed by that info. And when you're harmed by that information, there's nothing you can do about it. You'll take it to the law and say, hey, this guy Dr. Dre told me something and it broke my legs. They'll say, is he a real doctor? No. Okay, so what do you want us to do about it? If you sue him or go to the Better Business Bureau. So again, let's take a look at how to become a stock investor, which is something called an accredited investor. So let's go to Google. Okay, I hate when there we go. Now, I don't want to write, stupid pen. What is an accredited investor? So let's see here what it says an accredited investor is. These are all advertisements, so I don't like advertisements. So the SEC, Security Exchange Commission, defines an accredited investor as either an individual with a gross income exceeding $200,000 in each of the 2 most recent years, or joint income with a spouse or partner exceeding $300,000 for those years, and a reasonable expectation of the same income level in the current year. So if you're not an accredited investor, you have no business talking about investing. Now, let's take another look. Who is an accredited investor? Because there's more than one way to skin a cat. So this is from FINRA, the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority. So who is an accredited investor? Regulation D, or stock investments, are generally only available to accredited investors. For most investors, this means your net worth exceeds $1 million, not including primary residence. So your house that adds to your net worth, can't use that in the accredited investor test. Income exceeds $200K as an individual for each of the last 2 years, or $300K joint with a spouse each of the last 2 years. And this is from FINRA, the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority. So, again, he may be an accredited investor because enough people have put money with him, but you're not. Now, let's go to FINRA, in fact. Let's do that. Let's see, how do I do this? FINRA. F-I-N-R-A. FINRA, here we go. So, we're going to go to FINRA. That's not FINRA. FINRA.org. Right? The Financial Industry Regulatory Authority. Let's do this. Let's open this in my browser so that we don't have any issues there. So let's see. Creating opportunity together. FINRA enables investors and firms to participate in the market with confidence by safeguarding its integrity. We deploy deep expertise, leading technology and extensive market intelligence to serve as the first line of oversight for the brokerage industry at no cost to taxpayers. We are a not-for-profit organization that, working under the supervision of the SEC, actively engages with and provides essential tools for investors, member firms, and policymakers. Because of these deep relationships, and together with our stakeholders, we work toward finding common solutions to create a regulatory environment that promotes collaboration, innovation, and fairness. We do this so that investors are safe while having the opportunity to participate in America's capital markets. So, let's take a look here. I want to do a search. Let's do search here. Let's do accredited investor. Search. See what FINRA says. So, come on. Search. So, accredited investor. Investor rights. Investor education. I want to see what is an accredited investor. Where is the Rule 2267? Hotline numbers for FINRA. Okay, let's see here. Type. Exam findings, risk management, annual regulatory, blog post, careers, conference call, continuing education, disciplinary action. Let's look at FINRA's financial guiding principles. So this is on 401k, 403b, 457, 529 prepaid, 529 savings, accounts at other broker-dealers, advertising, Okay, let's see. Here, we'll do a search here. So, let's see. I'm not trying to write on the screen. So let's see. No search results found. Why? Let's do select all. Search. Yeah, right. No results found. Okay, let's do from 2023. Search. Nothing found in 2023. Okay. Let's do 2022. Search. Nothing from 2022. Let's do 2021. Search. Nothing from 2021. Well, FINRA, you're failing me here. Oh, here we go. Search FINRA. Okay. What's a stock investor? Search. Let's see. Investor insights. Mutual fund versus ETF. Stock splits. Investor resilience. Rule 4 stock. Transfers of stock. Stock ledger. Transfers of stock. Stock ledger. Podcast. What fees? Look at American Investor Knowledge. This is from 2021. Investor subscription. I just want them to... here we go. Rules and regulations. Well, you can go to finra.com yourself. Let's see. For investors. Here we go. So, if you're new to investing, let's look at investing basics. So, again, here's a lot of words that you don't see a lot of these quasi or fake financial people online mentioning. Investment goals, asset allocation, risk, buying and selling, fees and commissions, volatility, or evaluating performance. So, securities investing. When most people talk about investing, they're usually referring to investments in stocks, bonds, and investment funds, which all are types of securities. If you own shares of stock, you hold equity securities, meaning you're part owner of the company that issued those shares. If you own bonds, you hold debt securities. The issuer of the bond compensates you for the risk you take in loaning them the money. Mutual funds and ETFs or ETPs are additional ways to invest in securities. A single mutual fund or ETP, such as an exchange-traded fund, might contain dozens or even thousands of stocks, bonds, and securities. The more you know about the type of investments you own or are considering, the better investment decisions you're apt to make. So, regulation helps safeguard investors. So, regulation by regulatory authorities such as SEC and state security regulators and FINRA, a government organ authorized not-for-profit regulator, protects investors through rules, supervision, and enforcement. Two tenets in particular: disclosure and transparency. So that's something that you definitely don't get a lot of with a lot of these people. They tell you to buy my class. So disclosure, as it relates to stocks and bonds, is information about the company's financial condition and business that the company is required to make public, right? Investment products such as bonds, variable annuities, ETFs, and mutual funds are also required to provide investors with disclosure documents. So those are things called a prospectus. You never hear these false financial people tell you about that. Now let's take a look here. Security firms must also disclose a variety of information to their clients. For instance, when a firm or representatives make a recommendation to retail customers, the SEC regulation Best Interest requires disclosure to customers about the services they provide and fees they charge. In addition, firms must disclose and manage conflicts of interest that might compromise their obligation to customers. Securities firms that offer services to retail investors must also deliver a brief customer or client relationship summary, Form CRS, that provides information about the firm and is designed to assist retail investors in choosing a financial professional and services. So, time horizon. I never hear these fake gurus talk about that. Be patient. This dude is talking about you're going to be a stock investor in 10 days, but FINRA and the SEC say that part of that, it be able to actually be a stock investor, you need to at least be making $200,000 a year for the past 2 years. So how you gonna do that in 10 days? Or you need a net worth of $1 million excluding your own real estate. How you gonna do that in 10 days? The more you know, the more you grow. Right? Now, I want to see if they're going to take me to the form for you guys. Right. So what is regulation best interest? Regulation BI, or best interest, standard of conduct for broker-dealers and their associated persons. When they make a recommendation to a retail customer of any securities transaction or investment strategy involving securities, this means that when making a recommendation to a retail customer, a broker-dealer must act in the retail customer's best interest and not place its own interests in ahead of the customers. This includes recommendations of types of accounts such as IRA rollovers, or a recommendation to open a broker-dealer or investment advisory account. So guys who are like, yeah, open a brokerage account. Okay. Well, again, they're not licensed financial professionals, right? There's a lot of regulation, right? Just like if we both have a same chronic illness, I'm not going to listen to you about the medicine I should take, because you're not the medical doctor who's assessed my entire situation, right? You might say, oh, just take a baby aspirin every day. Your blood pressure will go down. Well, maybe I'm allergic to aspirin. So at any rate, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it for today. Make sure you hit that like, drop a comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you're made aware every time I release new content. And as always, share, share, share. Lastly, to contribute to channel growth or to schedule an appointment with a licensed financial professional, the links are in the description of this video. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, wipe ass. Work in progress every day and see success. And remember, when people challenge you, they don't challenge you to challenge you, but they challenge you to challenge you. Accept the challenge. Salute.